let's talk about these ladies, okay? And the husbands, honey, of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because on the last episode, Mr. Ross decided he was going to stand up and pretty much cuss at Miss Kenya and Sheree and tell them don't fuck with his wife because he don't play that type of SHI. Then he walked the fuck off. And I want to know if y'all felt like he was kind of wrong in saying that. I was conflicted in my spirit. I felt like, yeah, he defended his wife, but at the same time, it's like, that's not fair. They ain't got nobody to stand up for them to talk. Hence the reason why production decided to create a reason for the guys to exit stage left at the very end, because they probably felt like it was awkward too. But I wanted to get y'all thoughts on that.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal for him to do all of that. Like, essentially, I get it, but it wasn't that deep. Like, nobody cursed her out. Nobody disrespected her. Kenya was just like, I mean, yeah, I would want you to check on me. Like, of course I would. Like, you know, being obnoxious, of course. Right. But still, it wasn't that big of a deal. And honestly, I was annoyed because I feel like the way she capes for Sheree, it was just like, you really weren't even arguing with more than one person. You were really only arguing with Kenya. So I didn't feel like you were being jumped on like that. So his overreaction to me, I don't know. Something about Ross and Sanya's relationship seems weird the more we see as time goes on. Like, even when they walked away and he was mad, the way she was kind of like holding herself, there seems to be some type of disconnect between the two of them. And I feel like there's a physical disconnect. Like, so I don't know. Was like, y'all could be fucking. I'm not saying y'all not fucking, but she was comforting herself and his hands were in his pockets. It just seemed weird considering he had just stood up for her. I don't know.
I think he was mad.
Yeah.
You know how you be so mad that you be having to walk it off. I think he was like in fight or flight mode. But that was even more weird because you was talking to some damn women.
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't that.
I wouldn't say he did enough for me to say he was intimidating.
Yeah.
But I think that he definitely didn't even have to come with all that, because your wife is messy as fuck. So the least they could have done was ask her questions. And you should have just sat there and ate your food. But I think he was gassed up off of Todd having that interaction with Marlo a couple nights before. So I guess, but the difference was Marlo came for Todd directly. So that gave Todd the ball to be able to chime in. So I think since Ross and Sanya are new, Ross was like, okay, well, Todd had his moment, so I'm able to draw the line where I want to. But no, you need to stay out of women's business. Quit trying to be a damn.
Oh, what did he say? And didn't he say that? Did she call Peter a bitch?
You always with the women. You need to be over there with the men. So, I think he was just hyped up off of what happened with Todd, and it didn't apply to that situation. So it just made him look kind of goofy to me.
I want to say this about that, though, because I know they had a big conversation about how the men can't talk to the women without everybody acting like the men are doing the most. And I do agree with that to a certain extent, but I also want to implore y'all that y'all all have different definitions for how this shit should go. So some of y'all feel like a woman shouldn't argue with a man unless there's a man sitting there with her, which I feel like is some ignorant shit, but okay, fine. And then sorry, DC, it's ignorant. I'm sorry. Because at the end of the day, like, if you see that there's not a man sitting there, then don't argue with a woman like that. Why is she the only one that has to have reverence for the fact that there's no nigga sitting next to her? Which brings me to my point. Men argue with aggression in a way that it does not feel the same to women that when they argue with other women. That's why. And I hate that everybody always ignores that men are physically stronger and are angrier and can get violent before women do in arguments, which a lot of the times is why women feel like men shouldn't be involved in women's arguments, because nobody wants to feel like, because I'm having a verbal argument with you, your husband might do something to me. And I'm not saying that Ross would do that, but that is the reason why women don't want to argue with men, because they don't want to have to feel like a man is going to fucking hit them when she goes below the belt like he asking her to.
And Bonnie, you hit that on the head, because whenever I said I didn't feel like Ross was being intimidating, but the situation alone could be intimidating for a woman, because you don't know how a man could react. Yes. So I think that's So that's why I was like, I wasn't gonna go too hard on Kenya because I was like, I can't tell Kenya how to feel because you don't know that man. So if you felt intimidated, then you just felt intimidated. But
Yeah.
I didn't consider him to be intimidating. He should have just minded his business. But yeah, I agree.
He was definitely giving
For
sit your
sure.
ass down. Like that's how I felt. Like
For sure. For sure. I felt mixed. Yes, that was definitely a part of it. I also felt Kandi. When Kandi was like, I don't see why it's a big deal when y'all still went on to have a good time.
I agree.
So it's like, what's the issue? But it's like, Kandi, knock knock. Drew had a point. Everybody else can be held accountable, but she can't. This is the same woman that came and uninvited Drew to an event. So the same, and then this is also the same woman that did not invite Kenya to the next event. So
That's what pissed me off, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I was mad when I was watching it because I was like, so now when Kenya tag your ass later, don't be fucking surprised because to me, now that Kenya has like gone to therapy, I now can see when she's doing the thing. Which means like when she said, I don't feel like doing this today, which means I'm gonna run from Marlo instead of doing this arguing with shit, shit with her on camera. I'm not gonna give her a moment. She had decided that she was going to annoy the shit out of Sanya after Sanya made her feel away. So when she was late, when she didn't show up on time, when they were sitting at the table, and she's like, well, I would have expected you to be, that was all Kenya doing. Kenya being the villain, annoying the shit out of Sanya because Sanya made her feel away. It wasn't for nothing. And that's what I noticed. There are times when Kenya fuck with people for no reason. But if you remember, when Kenya showed up on that first trip, Sanya was way too on Marlo's side after Marlo just called her a bitch in front of her mama. So I feel like Kenya automatically peeped what Sanya was on then.
And how she moved.
Yes. And so by the time
and especially with Drew.
Trip,
yes. And Sanya pretty much confirmed that they were that they created an alliance, in my opinion, when she said that she thought it was them three amigos. I said, well, thanks for confirming.
She said she thought they had a pact.
Yes.
I said, bitch, not a pact. Okay, bitch,
but that's what Sanya was trying to gain with Kenya and Kandi.
She didn't
Sanya
work
was
hard
trying
enough.
to gain. She tried. Well, she invited them to that photo shoot, but I feel like the thing with Kandi and Kenya is like they don't need a pact, like, and they also don't need inauthentic connections. Like their time is they got their stripes for being on the show. You need to get with the lower girls who need a pact to have moments on the show. So that's why you got with Sheree, who's on here every other season, like a what's that thing called? The thing that you throw and it come back to you.
A boomerang?
Yeah, like a boomerang. Yep.
Yeah.
Be on the show.
And Barry. So I have another question. She by Sheree is 3 weeks out, and Sheree ain't got a lot of things in place. So at this point, she's talking about 3 weeks out, and I'm like, girl, America is like 5 years out. Like, I don't know how far out we are, but I would like to know what you guys are expecting from Sheree. Because I'm expecting this line to not be anything but drop shipping.
She posted for us to have our credit cards ready, like
she
today.
did
yesterday. But I just kind of feel like it's gonna be anticlimactic because we've waited like 2 decades or some shit. It's gonna be anticlimactic. And another thing is that it wasn't ready when you did the fashion, showcase or whatever the fuck. So you just ain't on your shit. So I wouldn't trust your business skills, especially not fucking around with Martell, Mr. Switch Label.
Switch Label.
Now she about coupons.
Yeah, they said that that's what he did with his wine. He basically white labeled Sutter Homes.
Oh,
yeah, I did. Yeah, I did see that, hear that.
Like he left the description.
Label, do something else.
He left the description in the Sutter Homes description. When he posted it on the website, he had to go back in there and fix it because he just copied and pasted it.
I was just gonna say they're definitely giving copy and paste. Copy and paste for sure. Copy, paste.
Yeah, I don't think that her line is gonna give anything. I think that is gonna give AliExpress 2-piece workout sets, Amazon 2-piece workout sets. I to be real with you, I don't even think that the samples, when it gets time to the presentation, will even have her tag in the back. It's just gonna be like manufactured athletic wear, and she's gonna act like she's doing something bigger than what it is.
I'm definitely concerned. I feel like it's gonna give she by nothing. Like I don't feel like it's gonna be anything once the show ends, and I'm really concerned about it because I really be rooting for Sheree, and I want to see her do her thing. But I'm
Why?
like, Sheree, are you even gonna have the capacity to manage people when you tell us to have our credit cards ready? Because even if I order a little sports bra, ma'am, am I gonna get my order on time? I don't need help. I pay the bills on time. So I be yelling like a dildo sign. Like, are you going to be able to have that in order for the people? And I'm a bit
You know,
concerned that she's not.
I agree with you. You know, them businesses who will, I don't know if you be noticing, but Sheree's business method to me gives me very much that she's the type of person who, like, in the Instagram boutiques do it a lot. They post shit, make you pre-order it so they could order it from overseas and then ship it to you. And that's why it take like 3 weeks to get your shit instead of like 4 days. I think that's what Sheree's gonna be giving.
Thank you, Keisha, for the super sticker. I appreciate it, honey. Y'all probably right. We gonna see. Now I do have more questions here about this Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. We gonna wrap this up soon. Kandi says that Marlo uses her emotional trauma, right? So when Kandi had this conversation with Mayetta, who I absolutely love and is doing a great job at being a friend of the show, in my opinion, she has this conversation about Marlo using her emotional traumas. I need to know if y'all feel like Kenya also uses her situation, her emotional traumas as an excuse as well, considering the Mark stuff.
It's only different because it's current. Kenya is giving you something that is going on currently. Like I'm currently dealing with this nigga.
That's
So
true.
excuse me if some days I'm not at my best. But with Marlo keeps trying to beat it over everybody else's head if they had a better childhood than her.
Yeah.
Like,
Geeks.
girl, stop. Please. You because like I'm sorry, I say it all the time in my reviews. I don't give a fuck about your childhood now. Because you're too
No,
old to
really.
be. I don't care. You're too old to be using that as an excuse to treat people like trash when it's convenient for you, and then to flip it on them and act like they're doing it to you, like the way she does with everybody. She says outlandish, crazy shit to people, and then when they give her back a little bit of what she gives out, she like, oh my god, why are you doing that to me? I can't with her, and I won't.
Yeah. I always I have to agree with you about not giving a fuck about somebody's childhood. Well, wait. Okay, yes and no. So I feel like if you've grown enough to identify the things that make you who you are, then you should be responsible enough to go get some fucking therapy. So that's one thing. And then there's other people who haven't identified it, and I'll be like, something's wrong. Like what's wrong? And I feel like they haven't identified it yet, but Marlo knows exactly what it is and continues to just use it as an excuse.
Which is even crazier when you think about the way she was so willing to like go in on Ralph, but not see how she was doing the same thing.
I know. And she said, the only thing is, you don't need to talk about my situation in front of everybody. But you talking about Ralph's situation with the kid that he takes care of full time, regardless, in front of everybody. Marlo is
Weird as
wild
fuck.
as fuck.
Mhm.
Yes, wild as it's something wrong with her. And I said it last week. I don't give a fuck. Like, she has no boundaries because she has zero emotional intelligence, like zero. And that's because she hasn't been. I can't imagine that she grew up in a way to where
She's been
she was really
emotionally
cared
abused.
for.
Yeah, no, she
Yeah, she
says
was
it. She
really
says her
cared for
mom was
emotionally.
terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say, like, being from New Orleans, y'all people talk to their kids like, especially when we was growing up. When I tell you, I have heard some of the most like fucked up things said between children and parents. Like, it's the craziest shit. And I feel like once your childhood is like disrupted in that way, where people don't have any like boundaries on what they'll say anything. Your meter of knowing what sounds fucked up or what actually hits, it's not real. Like, so when
It's
Marlo
gone.
says, yeah, it's not there. That's why she doesn't have that to stop her when she's saying something fucked up somebody else. But ultimately, she knows that it is hurtful. So when people do it to her, she can use it as a weapon against them, which makes her even more manipulative and fucked up in the head. So it makes me scared. And I'm gonna just say, because I'm scared for her nephews. And she, don't say nothing about my nephews. Girl, fuck you. I can say whatever I want to say. I'm worried for them with you as their primary caregiver, because you know what's wrong with you. And instead of fixing it, you use it to abuse people.
Yeah, she does.
Money.
She does. She's sick. Absolutely hate to see it. And then the other thing that she does, she's so slick at this. She'll be an asshole, and then when she wants to make up, she mirrors the things that she thinks people want her to say. Like, oh, you're gonna do this to another black woman, or black queen this, black queen that. Hey. Yeah, anyway, she'll do that.
Oh, what she did, I'm still going to support you, Kandi. I'm still going to support you. All right, girl, what? You muted, Jamie.
My bad. I was saying Cap. Still going to support you. So, girl, you Cap as hell. She don't care for Kandi. She jealous of Kandi. And that's just what it is. And Kandi really don't need your support for real, for real. In all honesty, she really don't.
I think that's why Kandi wanted that piece of chicken. I think that's why.
That's all you can give me, bitch.
Don't give a fuck about her. So I think Kandi was like, why should I even be mad at you? I want this piece of chicken and I'll just pay you dust.
Right.
Like, I would have never done it, but I know that's why she did it.
Now she got me feeling like when I go to Jamaica in November, I'm definitely going to find a KFC.
It's funny.
But tell Ted stop lurking in the background like a psycho killer and shit. Okay,
not a psycho killer.
One arm, like
no, for real. He was. I saw that hand. I said, "Hey,
He never comes into the video, so I see why DC is like, hey." Everything all right? Like, I'm trying to maintain my composure, but what the hell you got going on? That's funny.
Right. You just saw that one hand, hey.
Hilarious.
Jason is going on.
Now, at the table. At the table, guys, we see where Kandi gave Marlo this apology. Did y'all feel like she deserved that apology? Because I was like, Kandi, don't apologize to Marlo for shit. Because Marlo been dog talking the out of you majority of the season. So I didn't think that Marlo deserved an apology from Kandi at all. I don't care.
Deserve? No. But did Kandi want her to shut the fuck up? Yes. So that's why Kandi said that.
She did.
I agree. I think now ain't no going back. Now that Kandi knows how Marlo was talking about her, even before all of this shit jumped off. So I hadn't even said anything about your nephews yet, and you was already calling me a hoe and saying that I was what you say? I was a money mommy. And I pay people to take care of my kids, and there's no way I could be a good mother. Like, she said all of that shit about Kandi. Like, everything that she says, she's already said. So she said that shit before Kandi even said anything to her. So now that Kandi's seen it, I feel like, Kandi Lanise, Boris Tucker is not about to be your friend no more, girl.
And see, that's why I feel like Kandi didn't need to apologize, because Kandi responded to what was given to her. All she did was call you out about Ralph. You took it low, so Kandi got low with you, in my opinion. So I just felt like that wasn't deserving of an apology. That was called dishing what it is that you putting out. Like, I'm giving you what you give me. Thank you so much, Ash Tuck, for the super chat. That Jamaican KFC chicken is so fresh and juicy. The lines are always long. There is one posted MBJ airport. Girl, MBJ is giving Mary J. Blige. Because I'm over here like, Mary got an airport.
No, that's the Montego Bay. That's the Montego Bay.
My bad. Good night.
How far is that flight from Louisiana to Jamaica? What, like 2 hours? 3?
I never go a straight flight. It's always been a layover. And last time we went, it was like 2. Girl, don't even get me started. Maybe like 6 hours, 7 hours, like with the layover. Yeah, y'all remember it was fucked up. But not fucked out at Atlanta. That's what she said.
That is what she said.
Didn't deserve no apology at all.
Like, y'all don't understand, like, the amount of shit that Marlo has taught. Like, if I was Kandi, the way that I would just be willing to destroy her in the reunion, the way that I would be able to pull up her grant and donation and nonprofit information. The way I would get all that shit together, the way I would find her Plenty of Fish account or whatever account she got to meet these old white men, I would have all that
I
because
meet these old white
she just is disgusting the way that she hits below the belt. And like Kandi said, everybody ain't gonna be cool just because we supposed to know you hit below the belt.
Absolutely, 1000%. She thinks people are supposed to conform to how she is. Like, girl, sit down. No,
a lot
ma'am.
of emotionally abused people do that, though. That's what I was saying last week. A lot of emotionally abused people do that, and people who like don't know how to love. I can't trust people like that. Not because I'm trying to villainize them, but whenever you come out of an environment like that, you can't be trusted.
You're the villain. You're the villain with an origin story that's gonna make us cry, but you're the villain.
Origin story. Yes, you're a villain once you are grown. Definitely.
Yeah.
Can't trust people like that.
Kenya and her have basically the same childhood, and Kenya knew she was the villain and took ownership of the shit until she couldn't do it no more.
Well,
which shows you how exhausting it is as a person to play a villain on a reality TV show. That's why I always tell y'all that it don't matter if people acting on these reality TV shows or not. At some point, they're giving themselves over to that emotion and to that persona. Yeah. And then at that point, they are that. You can't pretend to be that and not become it at some point.
And not turn. And that, I think that's a very true statement. And I say that and I reduce it or magnify it to actors that embody certain roles. And I keep thinking about Keith Ledger, God rest his soul, such a beautiful man that played in She's All That and went on to be the Joker, honey.
Oh, yeah.
He played
it was
that
10
role.
Things I Hate About You. But
that's what it was. Yes, thank you. 10 Things I Hate About You. He went on to do the Joker. And then what happened? Did he kind of embody some of what was going on with that character? And he turned into that, and then shortly after that, the man ended up passing away. He was such a beautiful man to me. So beautiful.
Well, didn't the same thing happen? It was a black man that used to be in all the black movies. Didn't he shoot the dude in Boys in the Hood? The guy with the light eyes. And
I thought he died in gang violence. I thought, no, somebody killed him in prison. Never know.
Right. But he started becoming like part of gangs and stuff like that. Started trying to live that lifestyle when he was in all them movies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He was in Boys in the Hood and Menace to Society. And Jason's Lyric. Not Jason's Lyric. Poetic Justice.
What was his name?
Somebody said Lloyd Avery in the comments.
Thank you. Y'all be on it, baby. Y'all be knowing.
They do be on it. Like,
y'all be. Period. Oh, yes. I remember him, girl. I remember him. So sad. I definitely remember him now.